What's up, family? Your girl is back. Yes, yes. Hey, hey. What is up? When you come in, say hey, say what's up. We are back. Let me get us going on both platforms and go live. What's up, family? Listen, I see some of y'all are falling in right now on both Instagram and on YouTube. Make sure you come in and say, hey, say what's up. Say what's up. Say something to your girl, okay? Say something to your girl so that I know that you are here. Say something so that I know that you are here. Peace, Taryn. Peace, Melinda. Peace, BB Jackson. What's up, sis? Hey. How y'all doing? Listen, today we're talking about how to release the energetic baggage. Today we are talking about how to release the energetic baggage, right? Last week we talked about the chaos of the full moon. That is what we dealt with last week. Last week we talked about how certain thoughts were coming up, certain emotions were coming up. Last week we just talked about all the shit, right? Last week we just talked about all the stuff that has caused us to feel down, to feel stagnant, to feel like we weren't accomplishing our goals, that caused us to feel sad. We talked about those unconscious things that have been taking place. We talked about the unconscious things that have been coming up. That is what we talked about last week. This week, I am so very excited to gift you, family, with the steps that you must take to now change and transform and release those things, okay? I want you to know, family, that you can absolutely release those things that you have discovered that are causing some challenges in your life. You can release them. You don't have to hold on to that baggage. And so that is what we're going to be dealing with today. That is what we're going to be dealing with today. How to release that baggage, okay? Let me say what's up to the rest of the family that is coming in. Let me get organized here and say what's up to the rest of the family that is coming in before I jump into the information. All right. Let's see who is in the building. Peace, Michelle. Peace, Eileen. Peace, Love, Joy, Soul. Peace, Jaslyn. Peace, my love. Peace, AA. Peace, Dark Flower. Peace, DJ Shea Butter. Peace, peace, peace. Let me see over here. I already said what's up, Taryn. What's up, Amber? What's up, Main Jane? What's up, Purple Goddess? No ID. What's up? What's up? I can't say that word, so I'm not gonna mess it up, but I see you, Sam. I think I'm gonna just say Sam. I just see you. I see you. I see you. Yeah, you know what, Cynthia is coming in immediately. Cynthia is coming in immediately over here on YouTube with the business. She said the bag lady. And that is what we're going to be dealing with today, because we got bag ladies out here and we got bag men out here. Let's just be real. Bag lady, you gon' miss your bus. What? Dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. One day, all them bags gon' get in your way, right? I say one day, all them bags gon' get in your way. So pack light. Yeah. Come on. What y'all know about that? Let me know in the chat what y'all know about that. Let me know in the chat what y'all know about that. Listen, I was a young girl when that song came out. I don't even know the year that it came out, but I already knew, right? Like my spirit had already knew that song was powerful as hell. Bet your love can make it better. We're going to be getting into all of that because best believe the traumas that you've experienced, the heartbreak, the disappointment, the stuff that has taken place in your life, best believe there's a certain energetic baggage that comes with that. And if we don't figure out how to release that baggage continues to dictate our lives. Period. Right? That baggage continues to dictate our life. And we don't want that. Because when that baggage is dictating your life, you keep showing up the same way over and over and over again. Right? You keep showing up the same way over and over and over again. And it's just not it. So really, in our reality, if you want to create a new life experience, right? If you want to manifest the abundance, manifest the love, manifest the healing, right? If you want to do that, something that is absolutely necessary is that you release the energetic baggage, all right? And so that is what we are going to be discussing today. I'm trying to get my stuff together over here. Boom. Got it. Yes, that is what we're going to be discussing today. How do we actually release the energetic baggage? Are y'all ready to learn more about that? If you are, let me know in the chat. That your love can make it better. Need someone to love you right. That your love can make it better. Let me know in the chat if y'all ready to jump into the information. Listen. Side note, everybody needs, all of y'all need a manifestation journal. You need a manifestation journal. You need a healing journal. You need something for you to write in, something for you to release in, something for you to put your stuff in. You need this, family. Like, I've been having this journal since 2019. I've been having this same exact journal since 2019. And of course, I done bought more because that's what women do. We go and buy journals because we like that. But I want y'all to know that y'all need a journal, especially when you are dealing with baggage. When you are dealing with energetic baggage, you need a journal because sometimes you just got to get the shit out of your head. Sometimes you just got to get it out of your head. And having that journal can be that place where you just dump all of the thoughts, all of the emotions, all of the experiences that keep coming up. When you have a journal, you can just write it all out. Now, I'm going to give y'all some techniques. Because there are certain ways that you can write in your journal that will actually support your spiritual healing. This journal right here for me, though, this is the journal. This is my get shit done journal. This is my journal to where if I write something in this, I'm going to keep my word to myself and I'm going to do it, right? That's how I did the Sacred Sister Circle, Womb Alchemy, one-on-one coaching, all of the different services that I offer. I wrote down in this book first. I don't know how many years. Like I said, I had this book since 2019, right? So it's been years, right? Years of this thing unfolding. But I want to tell you, family, write down your goals. This is a whole side note, even though I am going to tell you a technique to release energetic baggage that you can do using the journal. But y'all, write your goals down. Write the things that you want to manifest down. Stop just keeping it in your head. When you only keeping it in your head, family, you're not making it plain. You're not making it physical. At least when it comes from out of your head and onto paper, at least it becomes 2D, two-dimensional, right? Because when it's just all in your head, it's just etheric, right? It's just etheric. And the ethericness of it is powerful, right? The spiritual energy of it is powerful. But when you write it down, like Dream Wise said, you make it concrete, you bring it into the physical, and then you got to challenge yourself and discipline yourself to pursue what it is that you wrote in this journal. Right? So I want y'all to get a manifestation journal. And in that journal, you ain't writing the shit that you mad about, that you sad about, that you frustrated about. That ain't what that journal is for. In that specific journal, I want you to write all the goals that you have, the desires that you have, the healing, the transformation, and the manifestation that you are seeking to tap into. That's what I want you to do with that journal, right? And it's so powerful because it does go hand in hand with what we're talking about today. So, y'all let me know in the chat, how was y'all's full moon experience? And let me say this, peace family. It's your girl, Desiree D. Ray Wise, spiritual healing coach, the Sacred Sister Circle curator, the Womb Alchemy facilitator. I just have to say who I am because there are new people who join me on Instagram or who join me on YouTube, and I want y'all to know who I am. So Desiree D. Ray Wise, and I help women. I help women do their spiritual work, renew their spirit, reinvigorate their relationships, rediscover their purpose. That's what I do. What's up to everybody that is new that will make contact with this video? Hey, I'm glad to have you here. Now, let me know in the chat what y'all's experience was with this Pisces full moon, right? If you weren't tuned in and tapped into the full moon, let me know how y'all were feeling energetically, emotionally over the past week or so, right? The full moon actually took place on September 10th. But if you know anything about the full moon energy, that energy lingers and it's still lingering today, right? So from probably like September 7th to like September 14th, all of that is full moon energy. How are y'all feeling? I told y'all last week how I was feeling. All of my unconscious thoughts, all of my unconscious emotions, all of the things that did not align with my deep desires, all of it was coming up. Was that happening for y'all? Let me know if that was happening for y'all. Because if that was happening for y'all, if you were able to recognize that you were having some negative thoughts, if you were able to recognize that you were having some low vibrational emotions, if you were able to recognize that your actions were not in alignment with your goals, what I have for you today is definitely going to support you. All right. Amber, that's good that last week you were light and airy. That's super powerful. Super duper powerful. I'm glad about that, sis. Divine Zoe says, I feel like my higher self is sending me hints. Oh, okay. Okay. I see you, Amber. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. You don't have to be able to put words to everything that you're feeling and thinking. Because y'all, sometimes the spiritual experiences that we are in, our human mind can't necessarily conceptualize what we are tapping into. All right. So sometimes you can't say, oh, I'm feeling down or I'm feeling sad or I'm not feeling like my best self. Sometimes you cannot explain or express what it is. You just know that there's something happening. All right. You just know that there's something happening. So for me, last week, a lot of the unconscious things that are really running my life was coming up in my mind. And so I was really able to observe some of the thoughts that I was having. And there was some things that I tapped into. There was some spiritual work that I did that allowed me to get to the other side of those thoughts, of those feelings, of those actions. Here's what you have to know. It is your unconscious mind and your subconscious mind that is creating your reality. There's no way around it, right? There's nowhere around it. And really, if we tie it in, this is your feminine energy, your chaos energy that is actually creating your life. Okay? And so if you look around your life and you're seeing things that you are not happy about, and you're seeing things that you're not satisfied with, you know that you have to address what's happening up here. You know that you have to address what is happening in your heart. You know that you have to address your actions. So understand this. Maybe you didn't feel heavy emotions last week. Maybe you were not observing your thoughts last week. But I want you to do this today. Today, I want you to reflect on the aspects of your life. Are you at peace right now? Are you experiencing joy and gratitude? Are you comfortable with the amount of money that you're making? Do you feel like you have healthy love and relationships in your life? Do you feel like you are pursuing your purpose? Do you feel like you are living out your passions? You can ask yourself those questions right there and reflect on the answers. And when you reflect on the answers, you'll be able to say, okay, this is working out well for me. This is not. Right? You'll be able to say, okay, my relationships with my husband, my kids, my wife, that's going good, but I'm not really in my purpose. I'm not really in my bag. I'm not really moving in the direction that I feel like I'm supposed to be moving in. You can do that. And when you do that and you get those answers, family, when you get that awareness of what is actually not working out for you, then you can look into, well, how do I think about this? How do I feel about this? Why is this showing up in my life? Why am I not satisfied in this specific area? And then when you know that, this is when you can make the changes and the shifts that are necessary for you to be where you actually want to be, right? So for me, I last week realized that I was still operating from a space of fear when it came down to this work that I'm doing, right? When it comes down to this purpose work. I absolutely 100% know for sure that what I am doing, the conversations that I'm having with y'all on YouTube, the coaching, the Sacred Sister Circle, the Womb Alchemy, I 100% without any doubt in my mind know that that is what I'm supposed to be doing. I just know it. I feel it when I'm doing it. But I had these unconscious fears operating on, like, okay, what if I say something that is too bold, that is too outlandish? What if I rub people the wrong way? What if I'm misunderstood? What if people don't get me? Is this good enough? Does this work? I had all of that going on in my mind. And last week, my spirit was like, it's time for you to let that shit go. It's time for you to let that shit go. My spirit was like, time is moving. Life is continuously going on. And you are being asked to move bigger, bolder. You are being asked to show up. You are being asked to be more disciplined. You are being asked to be more consistent. You are being asked to make more offers. You are being asked to do some powerful work. And you're not doing it because you're thinking about if people are going to get it, who's going to like it, are they going to buy it? You're thinking about all of that shit instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is treating your business the same way you used to treat that 9 to 5. This is what my spirit is telling me. But I had unconscious fears going on about showing up in that space, right? I was in like fight or flight mode. All right. So my spirit was giving me the downloads about how to actually work through those things. And I'm going to share that with you today, because today, you can't tell me nothing. I'm showing up. I'm being consistent. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this work. And so I want y'all to mark your calendars. Mark your calendars, because every Wednesday and every Friday, Desiree D. Wise will be live on Instagram and on YouTube dropping this good work, because that is what is being asked of me. And if I'm not here on those days, it's probably because Spirit has something else in store. But it is my intention to show up here on these days. So y'all make sure y'all show up with me, okay? Make sure y'all show up with your girl, because I'm showing up, okay? I'm showing up because that's what my spirit is telling me that I have to do. So I got a question here about Divine Zoe. But before I answer that question, I'm going to give you one technique. The first technique. Here's the very first technique if you want to start to release and shift energetic baggage, or what we call negative energy. All right? One of the first things that you have to do is practice the power of now. I want everybody right now in the chat to put now. Drop a now in the chat, because I need y'all to affirm to yourself, because that's what I had to tap into. My spirit was like, what happened last week? What happened last year? What happened when you were in college? What happened when you were in high school? What happened when you were 5 and 6 years old does not have to dictate how you are showing up right now. You get to choose how you show up right now. You get to be present right now. I don't care what mistakes you made. I don't care what the shortcomings were. How can you show up right now? I was like, damn, the conviction. convicted. I was convicted in that, family, because at the end of the day, you don't have to keep operating from that old energetic space. You don't have to keep living from a space of lack. You don't have to keep living from a space of fear. You don't have to keep living from a space of illness, from a lack of love. You don't have to keep living like that, because you're now, you get to determine how you think and how you show up. And so one of the first things that you have to do in order to release energetic baggage, like our good sis Erykah Badu said on Bag Lady, because you need to catch the bus. Erykah Badu said you're going to miss your bus, dragging all them bags like that. Here's what the bus is. The bus is your abundance. The bus is your love. The bus is your health and well-being. The bus is you operating in your purpose. The bus is you living powerfully. The bus is the mark, right? The bus is who you must become, right, in order for you to live out your divine sacred power. But if we keep holding on to the baggage, we miss the bus, we miss the mark, we miss the transformation, we miss being who we were meant to be. So we got to practice to be present. We got to practice to be present. We got to practice to live in the now. And what that looks like is asking ourselves on a daily basis, really being conscious about, is what I'm doing right now in alignment with the bus? Is what I'm doing right now in alignment with the goal? Is what I'm doing right now in alignment with my heart's desires? Is what I'm doing right now in alignment with my spirit? Is what I'm doing right now in alignment with my higher self? Is what I'm doing right now in alignment with God? Or am I living in fear? Right? The now moment you get to determine. And here's the powerful spiritual thing that I understand, and I'm so grateful for, and I got to stay focused on. The powerful thing is that your now, what you are doing right now, is what creates your future. How you are thinking right now, how you are feeling right now, how you are behaving right now is what creates the future. It's a beautiful thing. It don't have to be your past that's creating your future. The only reason why you keep repeating things from your past in your present moment, the only reason why you keep repeating them is because you're doing the same thing that you were doing in the past. You're thinking the same way. You're feeling the same way. You're acting the same way. That's the only reason why your present moment is reminding you of your past. That's the only reason why your present moment feels like you done been here and done that. It's because you have not changed your thinking, your feeling, your actions, right? You haven't made your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions align with what you desire. It's a very beautiful thing, right? So for me, last week, when all of those thoughts were coming up, and I said, you know what do I want right now? I'd say, okay, right now, I want to be more intentional about giving more. I want to be more intentional about being more productive in my day-to-day life, right? I had to tell myself, that is what I want. I don't want to keep holding on to this shit. I don't want to keep holding on to this criticism, right? Because that's what I was doing. I told y'all last week, right? I was about to go live on YouTube and on Instagram, and I was taking a picture for my thumbnail, right? Because on YouTube, you got to put thumbnails. On Instagram, you put thumbnails too, but I wasn't doing that at the time. I was making my thumbnail for YouTube. And I'm taking the pictures, and as I'm taking the pictures and I'm about to edit them, I'm just being so judgmental and criticizing the pictures. See, what that is baggage. That was energetic baggage. And that energetic baggage really came from, let me tell you all about it. Let me tell you how that self-criticism and judgment based off of my appearance actually came into form, right? So y'all know I grew up with a single mother. And I was an absolute daddy's girl. No matter what my daddy did, he was still perfect in my eyes, right? I just love my dad, still love him, love my mother too, but I looked like my father. Let me tell y'all about how this programming shit works. Let me tell y'all about how the unconscious mind works. I'm about to tell y'all how the unconscious mind works and how it will still fuck with you today. So I grew up, my mother and my father, they had a very tumultuous relationship. They were always arguing, they were always fighting. But one thing for sure is that I look like my father. Absolutely look like my father. And so through my mother and my father arguing, and my mother always telling me, you look like your daddy, you look like your daddy, you look like your daddy, right? I had really developed this belief that I wasn't beautiful or that I wasn't worthy. And that happened for multiple reasons. One reason was because my mother couldn't stand my daddy, but she always said I look like him. That's just what it is. Two, my father and my mother never told me that and you know what? Let me pause right there. But I don't consciously remember my mother and my father telling me that I'm beautiful. I just don't remember it. I vividly remember I was going to 8th grade prom. My dad came to the house. I had on this beautiful gold dress. My mom bought this gold dress from Macy's. I remember picking it out and everything. I had braids. I had these cute little, y'all know in 8th grade, you were wearing kitten heels, right? Little kitten heels. Had these cute little kitten heels. Had on this gold, beautiful, shimmery dress. It was like a halter top. Going to 8th grade prom. My dad came over. I'm all dressed up or whatever. And I didn't remember. I'm just waiting. I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat. And I'm just waiting for one of them to say, you look so beautiful. I'm just waiting on one of them to say, Desiree, you look so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I was just waiting on one of them to say it. And it never came. It never came. Even on the day where I felt that I was so beautiful, even on the day where I was so dressed up and ready to take on the 8th grade prom, never came. And so I've had to work through this thought of not being beautiful, not being cute enough, not being attractive enough. That's just the real shit, right? When I look in the mirror at myself now, I'm like, love you, beautiful, yes, 10s, 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 10s. That's how I feel about myself now. But it's like when I take a picture, pictures be doing something different. Let's just say that. Your face be looking different, things be shifting and shaping or whatever. But that unconscious belief through that traumatic experience of not being told I was beautiful by my parents, that unconscious belief has made me kind of critical of how I'm looking aesthetically. All right. And so while I was taking that picture, all of those thoughts were coming up in my head. Not that I'm ugly or anything like that, but it was just thoughts of, I don't like that picture. I don't like that. I don't like that. Turn your head that way. Do that. Do that. Those are all the thoughts that were coming up in my head. Unconscious thoughts. But I became conscious of them in that moment, given that we were in this full moon energy, and it gave us the opportunity to observe these things, right? So I was able to observe that. I was able to see, oh my God, I am really critical of myself in taking these pictures. Boom. Right there in the moment, my spirit said, this is your opportunity to become present in the now, stay focused on what your intention is rather than what the expectation is. See, that was the difference. That's a major difference, right? Because my intention was just to take a picture, to put on this thumbnail and call it a day. But I was focusing on expectations. I wanted to look like this. I expected to look like this, and and I had lost focus on my now moment. I had lost focus on the present. Now, luckily, my higher self, my intuition stepped in and was like, stay focused, stay focused, stay focused on your now. And right now, all you are trying to do is make a thumbnail, get this shit done, and start this live stream, do the work that you need to do, and move on. That's it. Your intention is just to give these people some good spiritual healing information and move on. Your intention is not to be the most beautiful girl, to have the most beautiful thumbnail. That's not my intention, right? I feel beautiful and I really know that I am beautiful, but that unconscious program definitely showed up and I had to cut all of that out and become present. Thank you to everybody that's saying, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder. And I truly feel there's another girl that's out here that's saying something different. and I get it. But I truly feel like if you see my beauty, it's because you are reflecting upon your own beauty. And that's what I do. Like, women of all different shades, shapes, races, hair texture, skin texture, like none of that shit matters to me. I can see beauty in every single woman that I see. Right? Now, if you got an ugly spirit, that's a whole nother thing. Because I do see ugly spirits, right? Or entities that are attached to certain women, and therefore their energy, they don't appear to be beautiful because they energetically, their spirit is not beautiful. That's a whole nother topic. So I like to think that that those of you in here that are saying, oh, you're beautiful, you're just feeling some good energy. And I love that. Okay. I love that, and I appreciate y'all. So the power of now. You have to focus on the power of now, right? So Naturally Natured over here on YouTube just said, this stops me from putting myself out there as well, in a sense. Yeah, and it's like this fear of judgment. It's like this fear of it not being good enough, it not being cute enough, it not being right enough. And we got to stop that. We got to stay focused on what the goal is. We got to stay focused on what the desire is. Because right now, in this present moment, this is the only thing that we have. You don't know if you have tomorrow, and you damn sure know for sure you don't have yesterday. All you have is right now. And because all you have is right now is when you need to live up to your greatest potential. Release the old shit, release the baggage, release the negative thinking, release all of that right now. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, what are the thoughts, what are the feelings, and what are the actions that are baggage, right? That are old energetic ties to old trauma and to old beliefs. You got to ask yourself, okay, what is that? And how is it showing up in this present moment? So the example that I just gave y'all, it was showing up for me in making a damn YouTube thumbnail. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? That's how it was showing up. That's how it was actually showing up. So that's the first technique. Check. Let me know that we got that. If you want to release baggage, if you want to release negative thinking, negative feeling, negative experiences, one thing that you absolutely have to practice is presence. One thing that you absolutely have to practice is presence. You have to come to right now, right? What can you do right now that aligns with the goal that you have? How should you be feeling right now? How should you be thinking right now? What action should you be taking right now? And you got to have courage, though. Okay? You got to have courage, because the negative thoughts are going to be there, right? The temptation to keep on doing old shit is going to be there because it's comfortable. You're comfortable in that space. You're comfortable judging yourself. You're comfortable being critical of yourself. You're comfortable with lack. You're comfortable with not having good health. You're comfortable with not having love, right? When you're comfortable in those places, it's easy to stay there. It's easy to think that same way. It's easy to feel that same way. All that, it's easy. It is harder for you to decide that you're going to push yourself and be better. Period. It's harder to challenge yourself to do something different. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. Do y'all understand that? Let me know in the chat if y'all get that part, because you need to understand that. But what you also need to understand is that you choosing to stay the same over the long haul, oh, now that shit's going to be worse. I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to be worse if you stay the same. If you don't grow, you get 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and you reflect on your life and you have so much regret and you have so much shame and you have so much disappointment because you didn't change, because you didn't push yourself, because you didn't live in the moment. What you think is worse? I'd rather be uncomfortable right now in my youthfulness, in my jovialness, in my more free-spiritedness. I'd rather be uncomfortable right now, push myself, get to the next level, and then, experience the fruits of that labor. That is what I would rather do. I want to experience the fruits of my labor right now. I'm not trying to experience the fruits years and years and years and years, while I don't have the time to really enjoy it. I'm trying to enjoy my life right now. I'm trying to live in my power and in my purpose right now. Right? And so you got to come into the present and the power of now. So here's a gem. Y'all need to get the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. How many of y'all have read that book? Real simple book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Peace, Nicole. I'm glad you're here too. Right? I'm glad you're here too. I love it. I'm glad all of y'all are here on both Instagram and YouTube. Glad y'all are here. Have y'all read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle? Y'all need to get into that book. Y'all need to get into that book because he breaks down the science of right here, right now. He breaks down the science of what it means when you decide you're going to be your best self right now. All you have is right now. That's it. So you have to ask yourself, if right now was the end of my time on this planet, would I be grateful for my time? Would I be grateful for what I've done? Would I be grateful for what I'm doing? Okay? The power of now. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Are we ready for part 2? We ready for another thing that we have to do? Which this next thing that we have to do, it really goes hand in hand with the power of now, and that's called collapsed time. If you want to release the baggage, you must ask yourself, how does the healed, happy, whole, abundant part of me think, feel, and act? And when you ask yourself that question, it is important that you walk in that right now. Right? And you got to discipline yourself to do that. You got to discipline yourself to collapse that time between who you are right now and who you are striving to be. You got to do that. That is our power as spiritual beings. That is our power as human beings, as spiritual beings, having a human experience. You have the power to project yourself to where you want to be. That's the power that we have. But are you using it? Are you utilizing that power? Or are you more focused on what you don't have, what you're not doing, the procrastination, the perfectionism, the negative thoughts, the negative emotions? Are you focused on that? Or are you focused on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to become? Because again, the becoming happens right now. The becoming happens right now. I remember when I was first priming my mind to be an entrepreneur, to coach women one-on-one, right? I remember when I was priming my mind to do that. Y'all, I was doing this. First of all, I did it in so many different ways. Like when I reflect on my life, I was always doing it. I was always doing it, right? I remember literally when I was working as a PE aide. Y'all, this shit's crazy. I was working as a PE aide. That means an assistant to the PE teacher. I was making $625 every 2 weeks. I was trying to survive off of $1,200 a month. Real talk, as a PE aide. But what I was doing, y'all, these kids was bad as hell. I was dealing with kids who, they knew all the hip hop songs. They want to be all of your business. Oh, miss, you got a man? Like shit like that. Oh, miss, you got a man? All up in my business, all of that. But I knew when I was being a PE aide that the goal was to become a PE teacher. Peace, D. I love you. Say hey to me, D, so I know you here. For real, for real. And don't leave. Why is somebody calling me? Right? Hey, girl. So, right? These kids was like, Miss, do you got a man? And badass kids. But you know what? I knew that I was there because I wanted to be a PE teacher. So I had to forget about the $625, literally $625 every 2 weeks. Like, struggle, right? The struggle was absolutely real. But I knew I wanted to be a PE teacher. And so I would come in and be that PE. Honey, listen, I would act like that class was mine. I would act like that gym was mine. I would tell that PE teacher, look, don't worry. I got this. I can control this. Just let me know what you want them to do. I'm going to lead them in it. I'm going to make sure it's fun. I'm going to make sure they learn. I'm going to do all of that. Right? And so instead of me focusing on, oh, I'm just a PE aide making $625 a week, instead of me focusing on that, I was collapsing time and I was being that PE teacher in the present moment. In the present moment, I was being that PE teacher. It didn't matter how much money I was making. I was going to show up and I was going to act like it was my gym. I collapsed time. And then before you know it, I'm a PE teacher, head volleyball coach, and didn't even have to interview for the job. Okay? Didn't even have to interview for the job. Literally, I received an email or something saying, hey, you want to come in? We want to talk to you. I'm all dressed thinking I'm going for a damn interview. I'm all like anxious because I'm like, oh my God, this is finally my opportunity to get this job. Like, oh my God, I got to get this job. I go in there, I have an interview with 2 white men. One was gay and one was just an older white man. But when I saw the gay one, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to work out because, you know, on some level or another. Oh, and the gay one, he had a black husband. So when I first shook hands with him, it was kind of soft, right? I felt the feminine energy. You know, I was like, okay, I'm peeping that. I'm picking up on that. We go in his office and I see a picture of him with a black man and they all smiley. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I got this. You know, minorities or whatever don't stick together. That's not really true. But in this situation, it was. So they asked me, tell me about your volleyball career and blah, 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 blah. It was so amazing and so in alignment. This is why, family, you got to collapse time. You have to be who you want to be right now, right? It was so amazing. My mother had made me like this binder of all of my volleyball accomplishments. Player of the year and all of this shit from college. My mother made a binder of it. So I go in, I open up the binder and I show it to them and they were blown away by it. And they were like, okay, let's take you for a tour around the school. So I get up, I walk around the school with them. They talk and they say, hey, we want to offer you the job. Now, I got to put this into the story because I want y'all to see how some of those unconscious fears will show up even when you are in the midst of manifesting your goals. So they say, okay, we want to offer you the job. My scary ass, instead of me saying deal, shaking on it, instead of me saying that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get back to you tomorrow. I could have easily lost that job. They could have offered that job to somebody else that same day because I didn't immediately jump on it. But I was scared. I had fear, right? That unconscious fear was coming up. And what I was afraid of was hard work, right? Let me just be real. I don't want to work hard. I don't want to have to do the extra, right? Because when I was in the interview, they were like, okay, I want you to know that the head volleyball coach, you got to go and scout middle school games. I didn't want to do that. I got a kid at home. At the time, I had only KJ. I was like, I don't want to do that. They saying, you got to raise money for buses and all of that. I'm like, honey, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to fundraise and raise money for a bus. And so I was scared of the level of responsibility that it was going to take for that level up. Just the reality. I was scared about all that they were going to have me doing just to be this head coach. I thought all I got to do is come in, organize the varsity, JV, freshman teams, teach. I got volleyball down pat. I can teach volleyball on any level, create a successful program. I had that down pat. I was like, I got that. But when they started talking about you got to fundraise and do all of this and do all of that, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, because these other districts that got more money, they don't got to do all of that. And y'all paying the least amount. But really what it was, I was scared. So even when you are about to level up, right when you are about that, why when you are at that point of transformation, right when you are at that point of manifestation, some of your old negative beliefs, some of your old emotional baggage will show up. And that showed up for me because, I'm just going to be real with y'all. I was always good at, at the human stuff, right? I was always good in school. Like I was going to pass my classes without really trying, right? I'm so grateful for that. I didn't have to study for tests. As I hear the teacher talking, my mind is absorbing it all, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it, right? I was always very athletic and all of that. So working hard was not for me. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, right? I came home to dream. He said, you better call them people back right now. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You taking that job. Mind you, I was only making $1,200 a month at the time. And I was about to go in a situation where I was going to be doubling, more than doubling it, right? Probably like tripling that, if we add in the volleyball stipend. So he like, you better call them people back. Shit, I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm tripping. I am tripping. This is what I've been wanting. This is what I've been desiring. This is what I've been speaking for. This is why I've been making $625 every 2 weeks with these badass kids. Shit. I called them back that next morning. I said, you know what? I want to take the position. They said, perfect. Oh my God, y'all. It was such a blessing. Such a blessing. And so much so that when I got to the school, shit was easy as hell. It was easy. The things just worked out. It just worked out. But I say all of that to say, I had collapsed time when I was working as that PE aide. I was already carrying myself like a PE teacher, not an aide. I was already carrying myself like the teacher. I was already carrying myself like the head volleyball coach. I was already walking in that. I had seized the moment. See, here's a gem. Some of y'all are wanting to manifest something, a business, a job, or whatever, but you're not willing to level up your amount of work, your amount of output in order to get it. You are thinking that you can manifest more while you stay the same. You are thinking that you're going to make more money, right? You're thinking that you're going to attract healthy love and relationships. You're thinking that you're going to, buy your house. You're thinking you're going to do all of those things and you stay the same person that you've been. And it doesn't work like that. You got to release some of that energetic baggage. You got to release some of those negative thoughts. You got to release some shit to get some shit. Let's just say it like that. You got to let some things go if you want to receive the desires of your heart. It's just 1 + 1 = 2 or 1 + 1 = 11, however you want to think about it. But you got to do something. You got to do something. So collapsing time is one of the techniques that you can utilize to release old baggage. Be who you desire to be in this moment. Speak how you want to speak in this moment. Live how you want to live in this moment. Here's another gem. Here's something so awesome that Dream and I were doing when we were first manifesting abundance and all of these things like that. We literally would go to a Michelin star 5-star restaurant. We would literally, set money to the side and be like, okay, babe, with this money right here, we're going to go to this nice ass restaurant. We're going to go to this nice restaurant because you got to collapse time. You got to put yourself in the space and in position to grow, to transform, and to be who you are called to be. How you gonna manifest abundance, but you keep eating at McDonald's or Popeyes or the Cookout or Wendy's or whatever? I'm not saying that you can't eat those at all. Eat it if you want it. But if you want to attract more, if you want to release the negativity of brokenness, if you want to release the negative energy of not having enough, if you want to release the energy of struggle, you need to put yourself in position and in places where abundance exists. So Dream and I, we had to go to these restaurants, setting some money to the side. Okay, let's go here. We got us a babysitter. Let's go here. Let's just feel what the ambiance is. Let's just feel what the energy is. Even when we were starting our business. Do y'all have where y'all live these things called like buy black market? Do y'all have stuff like that where y'all live? Buy black markets. Markets where black people come together and they buy from other black people. Y'all have stuff like that? Let me know. Because we do. And y'all, Dream and I didn't know we would be here doing what we're doing right now. We did not know that we would have these supplements. We did not know that we would have any of the stuff that is going on right now. Man, if y'all don't have a buy black market, I don't know where you live. You must be in Iowa or something. I don't know. But shout out to all the people that do have buy black markets. Y'all definitely should go and support people's, black businesses. But not just that. You go because you can make good connections with people, right? You can make good connections with people. But one of the ways that Dream and I, why are people, stop calling. People blowing up my line, y'all. I should have put my phone on do not disturb. I wonder if it's too late. Let me see something, Instagram family. Let me see. I'm going to keep this on here. It's too late. I can't put my phone on do not disturb. So IG people, stick with me. People. Can't put it on do not disturb. People calling, whatever. So you want to go to these buy black markets because you want to connect with people. You want to connect with like-minded individuals. There are going to be people there that are like you, that are like me. But before we tapped all the way into our business, we would go to these buy black markets. And we would just walk around, peep the scene. What are people selling? What are people doing? What are people eating? I remember one time we went to one and Dr. Umar Johnson was speaking. Hilarious. The Umar Johnson that y'all see on TV is the Umar, or on your phones and on YouTube, is the Umar Johnson that you will see in person. Same exact person. Tariq Nasheed as well. Same exact person. We went to go see Tariq Nasheed and we went to go see Umar Johnson at the Shrine of the Black Madonna out here in Houston. But we were collapsing time and we didn't even realize it. We were putting ourselves in position to be business owners just by being in that space, just by being in that environment. So it's such a beautiful, 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 powerful thing, family, when you put yourself in spaces that align with the desires that you have. You have to do it. If you want to be in health and wellness, you need to start frequenting some plant-based restaurants or a gym or something, right? For me, tapping into the business that I am in, the spiritual healing coaching business, what I did, I would start going to different workshops, webinars, masterclasses, watching women do the thing that I wanted to do or that I felt called to do. So that's what I would do. And I would go in with the intention of learning whatever it is they have to offer, but to also watch how these powerful, beautiful women facilitate a sacred healing space for women. So I put myself in the space so that I can collapse time and get closer to that desire. Here's another thing. If you want to release energetic baggage, and you want to release this negativity, this negative thinking, this negative feeling that is standing in the way of you getting to your goals, something else that you have to do is you need to get you a coach. You need to get you an advisor. You need to get in a community. You need to do those things. Here's why. Because if you can become connected to someone who has done what it is that you're seeking to do, what you will do is bypass all of the unnecessary stuff, that will slow you down from getting to that goal. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I did it. East Tea Tree, tell your daughter I said, hey sis, and thank you. Thank you. My daughter loves flowers. Everything is a flower. But so I have, there's a woman that I know, a good big sister of mine. She's a big sister of mine. But over the past year or so, I worked for her, right? I contract for her. I did contract work for her. And I had so much pleasure doing it. She's in the same exact business as me. Now, I could have been in my ego. And been like, oh, we do the same thing. We do stuff. Bullshit. My spirit, it was so crazy. I did a tarot card reading for it. And all the cards that came out were cards that were saying, yes, 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 you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. And so I trusted that download. I trusted that information that I received by tuning in. And I agreed simply be of service to this beautiful, powerful woman, with whom I love. We've built a very powerful relationship now. But we do the same exact work, or very, very similar work. Okay. But I decided that I was going to work for her, be under contract with her, so that I can collapse time. Because when I started working for her, I was able to see how to facilitate a healing space for women. I was able to see that I could do it. I was able to gain the confidence that I needed. And some of you are being asked to do that. Some of you are being asked to connect with certain people. Some of you are being asked to connect with certain people that are going to, I got to try to figure out how to put my phone on do not disturb. Okay, got it. Because this is ridiculous how many phone calls I'm getting right now. All right, am I back? YouTube, Instagram? I'm back. I think I'm back. And it's on do not disturb. So let's hope that works. But some of you are being asked to get in connection or in relationship with certain people who can help you to collapse time on your goals and release the shit that you feel like you struggle with releasing. Okay? If you feel like abundance is something that you are struggling with, right? Like how do I make more money? How do I find more whatever? If you feel like that's something that you are going through, you need to connect with somebody who understands money and abundance so that they can support you in releasing some of that baggage. So that they can help you release some of the things so that they can even help you to see some of the unconscious. I know IG is acting funny, y'all. It's like jumping back and forth or whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. But you need to be able to collapse the time. You need to collapse the time between who you are right now, where you are right now, and where it is that you're trying to go. That is how you're going to release stuff. Here's the facts. The fact is that some of the unconscious thoughts and emotions that you are having, they don't align with the goals that you have for your life. And they cannot go with you. So if you get around certain people, certain people are going to help you to be like, that ain't it. I remember I was working with my coach. And she had asked the ladies in the group. She was like, tell me something. She said, brag on yourself a little bit. She said, let me hear you brag on yourself. Let me hear you talk your shit. Let me hear you say why you are great, why you are amazing. Oh my God, y'all. My unconscious mind, right? Things that I wasn't even aware of. I mean, I started feeling like, what? Brag about myself, talk about myself, say why I'm so great. Y'all, I had to take a deep breath and start talking about why I am so great. It was so challenging, right? But she allowed me to collapse time, because if you don't know what makes you great, how can other people be receptive to it and open to it? Right? Even our unconscious mind, some of that negative energy, some of that energetic baggage that you are being asked to release, some of it just has to do with you failing to realize how awesome, how amazing, how powerful you are. Right? And so that happened to me. And when I got around this specific person, she helped me to really take off that backpack. She helped me to literally take off this energetic bag that I was carrying about being judged for having the big head or having a big ego. Okay? Now, I'm not saying be an egomaniac and always be talking about this. You need to know what makes you divinely you. And you need to stand on that. See, a lot of y'all are not standing on your greatness. You're standing on all of the old stuff. You're standing on the baggage. You're standing on the baggage. You're basing your life off of the negativity that has shaped you to be who you are today. And that's not cool, family. So you have to start standing on your power. You got to let yourself know why you are so great. All right? You got to let yourself know why you are so great. Here is another thing. Y'all want to know some more techniques? Are we receiving the techniques that I've given you now? Right now, we've already talked about you got to come into the power of now. You have to learn to be present. We got that. That's one. Check, right? Let me know in the chat if we got that. Two, you have to learn to collapse time. You got to learn to collapse time. You got to get in certain spaces and places that are going to force you to get to where you got to go. You got to get in spaces and places that are going to support you in being who you're supposed to be. Because the only thing that is standing in the way of you being who you're supposed to be is the energetic baggage and the attachment that you have to your old self. Let me say that again. The only thing that is stopping you from becoming who you are destined to be, manifesting the abundance, the love, the health and well-being, the power, the purpose, the only thing that is standing in the way of that is your attachment to your old self. That's it. Your attachment to the negative thought, your attachment to the guilt, to the shame, your attachment to the laziness. Let's just call it what it is. Your attachment to the laziness, your attachment to the TV, your attachment to the Instagram, your attachment to the food, your attachment to all of those things. And right now, what we're talking about is how we release that. How do we let that go? So you got to practice the power of now. You got to practice collapsing time. Here's another thing that you have to learn to do. You have to learn to see that baggage being released from you energetically. Okay? So y'all know we all have an aura. We all have an aura. We all have a toroidal field. We all have this energetic egg, right, that we exist in. And that energetic egg, our aura, our body armor, right, it's a layer of protection for us. It absorbs things. It absorbs the shade your mama, your sister, your grandma was throwing. It absorbs that. The hater from your friend and that coworker, it absorbs that. Right? The traumas that you have not dealt with are all sitting in your auric field. And this is what attracts you and attaches you to certain experiences. Now, it can attract you to more abundance. It can attract you to love. It can attract you to healing, or it can attract you to the things that you don't want. Your auric field, your energy center. And some of you might can't see it with your physical eyes, but if you close your eyes and you tune into yourself, You can feel the energy of your aura, right? You can feel the energy of your aura, and you can project a certain aura color, whatever around you based off of what it is that you're trying to manifest, create, or release. And so one technique that I've been using this week when it comes down to releasing energetic baggage, I've literally been visualizing myself taking off an energy backpack in a sense. I've literally been visualizing myself taking off this heavy armor. Understand this. Why does this work? How does this work? I'll be glad to tell you. Whatever your mind can see, right? Whatever you see and whatever you feel in your being, it doesn't know whether your mind, your being doesn't know whether that is real or whether it is fake. It's all one. Okay? It's all one. So whatever you're seeing in your mind, it is actually happening. That is the power that you have as a conscious, divine, spiritual being with a mind, with vision, with a third eye, having a human experience. And so if you can see yourself energetically, right? If you can see you taking off this energetic backpack, and you do it for long enough, and you have the emotions and you have the feelings and you feel that release, right? That's the sound that I was making, right? As I was in my meditation and I'm taking off this energy backpack and I'm taking off of this heavy armor that I've placed upon myself, I just saw myself doing, I just kept feeling that type of feeling. Think about it. Think about, you got a heavy ass backpack on. Think about when you were in school. Think about when you were in school and you got all of these damn books in your bag, right? Your back hurting right here, your little traps, your shoulders hurting because this backpack is so heavy because you got so many bags in it. And when you finally take it off and it feels like just a load has come off your shoulders, you can do that same thing utilizing the power of your intention and the power of your visualization. You do the same exact thing. Take off the energetic backpack, right? Understand that the bag that you're carrying, bag ladies, bag gentlemen, y'all better go back and listen to Erykah Badu. Understand the bag that you're carrying is a culmination, is the result of the things that you've been through. Okay? It's the result of the things that you've been through. Listen. Maybe this was in 2020. This was in 2020. I was still working as a teacher, but I was doing online work, right? I was, COVID was happening, so we were all working from home. And my shoulder and my neck just kept on tingling. And I would get a sharp pain from my neck down my spine. Very sharp pain, very tingly pain. And it bothered me for weeks, right? And at first I was like, okay, let me just stretch it. Let me stand up more. Let me do something. Let me do all of that, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fix it myself. Then I finally got to a point where I was like, all right, let me just go to a doctor. So I went to the doctor, got this x-ray done, got this x-ray on this whole side of my chest. It was on my left side. Got this x-ray done on this whole side of my chest. They took all of these different images, front, back, side, whatever. And because I was telling the doctor, I was like, I don't know. I feel like I got a pinched nerve or something. For some reason, my neck just keeps tingling. I keep having these sharp pains. And she was like, well, it could be possible. And I was like, well, yeah, I played volleyball for so many years. So my arms swinging and doing all of that stuff. So it could be the case. So we get the results back and the doctor looks at the results and she says, there's nothing here. There's not a pinched nerve. There's not inflammation. There is absolutely nothing here wrong with your shoulder. And she was like, of course, like the doctor said, it's probably just bad posture because you're now working from home. You're working on the computer. So probably your posture is just bad and it's causing your nerves to kind of get irritated, but you're fine. Send me on my way. Y'all all know Miss Blue, the Oracle. If you don't know Miss Blue, I encourage you to go on Planet Remix or Blue Raspberry on YouTube and subscribe to her page if you don't know. So I call Miss Blue. And I'm like, hey, Miss Blue, I'm having this tingling in my shoulder, and I don't know what it is. I done iced it, I done heated it, I done did all of these things, but for some reason my shoulder just keeps tingling. It keeps being irritated, right? And went to the doctor. She said nothing. So of course, Miss Blue, powerful oracle, powerful energy reader, she goes into my energy and she was like, oh, your armor is too heavy. And right when she said that, y'all, I just got a vision of my energetic aura, right? Of my energetic armor. Immediately when she said it, I knew it. And she was like, yeah, you're not letting anything into your energy or into your aura, into your armor. You're not letting anything through your armor. You're letting everything is just compiling on the top of your energy, right? Of your energy field, of your aura, of your egg, of your body armor, your energetic body armor. She was like, everything, you're just stacking everything on top of it. You're not letting nothing in. You're not letting love in. You're not letting criticism in. You're not letting anything in to your energetic armor. And I was just so blown away when she said that. My spirit, she gave me the complete confirmation. No doubt in my mind, she gave me the confirmation right when she said that. And she said, and the reason why you do this is because in a past life, you were almost killed out of love. Like somebody that you loved literally almost murdered you in your past life. And so now you ain't really letting nothing in, right? You're not letting love come in. You're not letting anything come in. Like you're protecting yourself from everything. Mind you, it's 2020, right? I got dream. I got kids at this time. I got family. But this is what she says. And I just felt this sense of peace in knowing and understanding. And it was so divine because at that time, I was dealing with a fear of criticism, right? A fear of judgment. And I felt like I didn't want to put myself out there as much because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be criticized. I didn't want to receive people's praises or people talking down. I was like, I don't even want to deal with it, right? Like, I just don't want to do it. And even with Dream, even in our relationship, like he would tell me things that absolutely could help me to get better. But because of that past life drama, because of that past life energy, right? Even though he was coming from a space of love and saying, okay, babe, what you think about this? What you think about this? Do you think, even though he was coming from a space of love, I couldn't receive it. And so even after he was giving me my love, I'm just sitting it on the top of my armor. Just sitting it on the top of my armor. I'm not allowing it to enter into my space. Okay? And so we literally compile so much energy in our auras, not just from the things that happened in this lifetime, but from past lifetimes as well. And so in order for me to get over that, I had to, and my spirit did this. I didn't even consciously do this. My spirit gave it to me, but I was actually able to see the energy. And it just actually continued on. I was able to actually see energetically the love that was being given to me. I was also able to see energetically the jealousy, the envy, the evil eye. I was actually able to see both of those things and then do what I needed to do within myself to receive the love and release the rest and to let go of the rest. So like with Dream, when he would start saying, hey, babe, I think you need to look at this, or I think you need to do this, I would just be like, I would open my heart to receive what he had to say. I would let him in, right? I would let his words in. I would let his love in, even if that love came tough, right? So the negative energy or whatever, right? Or the energetic baggage that I was carrying literally was affecting my physical body. It literally was causing me pain and irritation. And right when I became conscious of that, the tingling, the pain, whatever, it went away. So you want to start practicing letting go and releasing the energetic armor. You want to see yourself getting it up off of you. You want to see yourself getting it up off of you, letting it go. And then based off of what the energetic armor is, based off of what it is, you want to be conscious of your actions, your words, your emotions, your feelings, all right, your thoughts. You want to be conscious of that. So when Dream would say something to me, because he's brilliant, right? He's literally brilliant. He literally has, it was one of the things that made me attracted to him in the beginning was he's so freaking smart. And the way that he now he may read a book and mess up on some words, right? I ain't gonna lie, my boy would be like, he may read a book and mess up on some words, but he is super smart, right? And he's smart in the way that is attractive to me. It ain't about the books, right? To me, he just is able to understand people, right? He sees people, right? He understands people. Very, very conscious brother, right? But I had to really accept his wisdom. I had to be like, he knows something. He really knows something. Like the attraction that I had for him from the beginning, and that remains right now, is how brilliant he is, right? And how he can see energy and read energy and feel people's energies. Like, I love that shit. And so when he would see things about me and say things to me about what he's picking up on or what he's sensing, I had to do the work to receive him in that way. Okay? Now, not only was it just past life stuff that created that negative unconscious belief of, I don't want to receive criticism from people, I don't want to hear shit people got to say, right? It wasn't just that past life, but it was also my childhood that created that type of thought process, right? Because when you're dealing with an abandonment wound, let's talk about it. When you're dealing with an abandonment wound, you're always looking for acceptance. Abandonment and rejection really are very similar and they intermingle a lot, right? Oftentimes when you're dealing with abandonment, you're also often dealing with rejection. And so with me having that wound, right? I told y'all, my mother and father not getting along. My mother and father never telling me I was beautiful. My father not showing up when he said he was supposed to show up. When I was dealing with that wound, I had developed this thought process that I had to be perfect, right? I had to be perfect. I had to be the most well-behaved. I had to be the smartest. I had to be the most athletic. I had to be those things, because if I was those things, my father would love me. My mother would accept me. She wouldn't reject me because I'm my father's child who she can't stand, right? So I had the abandonment wound from my father, and then the rejection wound from my mother, because I literally felt like because I looked like my father, my mother couldn't love and accept me. Real shit. This is real healing stuff that is like, it blows my mind to really reflect on. But because I had those wounds, if somebody judged or criticized anything that I did, it bothered me. It bothered me. It frustrated me. It didn't feel good, right? And not because it didn't have to be that way. But I was carrying that energetic baggage. I didn't release that energetic baggage. And so in 2020 is when I finally started releasing that. 2020 was when I finally started de-armoring that. Peace, Savvy. Right? So in 2020 is finally when I started releasing that energetic baggage. All right? So you want to be able to visualize yourself coming up off that energy. Whether you are storing that baggage, for me, I was storing it on my shoulders. I was storing it on my shoulders. I was storing it on my neck, right? Some of you are storing energetic baggage in your womb space, specifically women. And you've stored it there for so long. This is where the manifestation. Yes, guys are always allowed. Guys are always allowed on the videos, right? I specifically serve women in a one-on-one basis but anybody can get this information. Anybody can get this information. But a lot of women are storing energetic baggage in their womb space. And this is where the manifestation of fibroids and cysts and a lack of pleasure and sexual desensitization and not being able to experience healthy pleasure is because you literally have an energetic chastity belt that is blocking you from being able to experience that. Okay? And when you have unresolved energy in your womb space, a man can be working with the shit. He can have the ocean of the motion, whatever they say. You know, he can have the ocean of the motion, right? He can have all of that. But because your womb is so energetically blocked, because you haven't released the baggage of your trauma, because you haven't released, you know, the sadness or the, you know, the disappointment, the abandonment, the rejection, the blame, the shame, because you haven't released that, even when you are being intimate with a man who may very well love you and care about you and want the best for you, you can't even get the healing love from that because there's things that must be released. But you got to keep working on it, right? You got to keep working on it. You got to keep pushing forward. So I want y'all to start visualizing. I want you to start visualizing you releasing that energy from your body, right? Understand that your mind and your body, they're working together. And whatever transformation, whatever healing, whatever you want to do within your body, you have the full power to do. I don't care what nobody tells you. I'm telling you the facts. The fact is that using the power of your mind, using the power of your intention, using the power of your attention, using the love that you have for yourself, which goes into my next point, using the love that you have for yourself, you have the ability to heal the body, to heal your cells, to experience pleasure, and to align with what you want. Understand, when you tell the cells of your body, we are moving forward with abundance, we are moving forward with love, we are moving forward with manifestation, we are moving forward with purpose, the cells in your body will start adjusting to that. And before you know it, you're walking that path. You get to walk that path. All right. But it happens by you transforming your mind, you transforming your body, and you being intentional about that. Listen, Savvy, I know about tension in the pelvic floor. And a lot of times, for me, what I'm discovering is that tension in the pelvic floor is a manifestation of unbalanced masculine and feminine energy. Because one thing about the pelvic floor, what dwells in the pelvic floor is the perineum. And the perineum, right? The perineum is basically the middle point. The perineum is the seat of that Shakti energy, right? Or what we call Kundalini energy. Both men and women have a perineum, right? On men, y'all call it a gooch. Both men and women have that. It's the middle point between what makes you a man and what makes you a woman. And so a lot of times that tension is manifested when we're out of balance between our personal masculine and feminine energies. Very powerful stuff. I say get this book. For any and every woman, The Power of Shakti, 18 Pathways to the Divine Woman. Absolutely, every woman should have this book because it's going to talk to you about your perineum, your lips, your vulva, the vagina, the inside, your G-spot. It's going to talk to you about your cervix. It's going to talk to you about your clitoris. It's going to talk to you about all of that and the spiritual essence of it. Also, shameless plug. Your girl's book. I'm going to be releasing my book in October for my birthday to be exact. So y'all get ready. I'm going to be releasing my book in October for my birthday. It is an all-color book. Y'all just get ready for it. All right? Y'all just get ready for it. That's going to be happening. So you want to visualize yourself releasing that energy. Visualize. So if you have tension, pain, anything in your body, first of all, communicate with that. Communicate with that energy. Second of all, can you show that book again? Yes, I can show it again, Alexis. I can show it over here. By Padma Prakash. This is one of my favorite books. This book right here, I done bought the book twice. I done gave it to a friend because it's so powerful. Got to get that book. My personal book will be coming out for my birthday. So yeah, we'll be able to tap in with that. But first of all, when it comes down to our body, here's something that I want us to start doing. Here's something I want you to start doing. Stop labeling sensations as pain, because when we equate a sensation in our body, when we make it pain, right? When we make it pain, we automatically, unconsciously are attaching a negative connotation to what that sensation is. Okay? All right? So when I was giving birth, right? I gave birth to 2 children, unmedicated, out of the hospital. One of my babies, the last one, Miss Kimmy Pooh, she came by C-section, right? All miraculous stories. All of my births were miraculous stories. But, you know, with KJ and with Kara, with both of them being born unmedicated, vaginally, coming through that divine portal, that's one of the things that I had to learn. I had to learn that we have to stop calling sensations in our body, stop calling it pain. Stop calling it pain. Think of it as a sensation. So as I was having, this is all mental, family. When you change your mental perspective, because at the end of the day, the way you view the world is all based off of your past and what somebody has taught you. So I had to learn as I'm in labor, painful as hell, right? Unmedicated, born out of the hospital, midwife birth. Shout out to my midwife, Afua. She is actually, I'm going to say, let's get some ashes for her, because actually about 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, when I took my spiritual bath and I was contemplating on all of this energy, I kept on feeling her spirit and receiving confirmation from her. So this absolutely aligns. Ashe, 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 Afua, the great mother, Ishtar, the midwife, right? She, I had 2 baby, Dream and I had 2 of our kids with her. And first of all, she was one of the first people who I had the most intense, energetic connection with, because I remember my first time seeing her. It was on Instagram. And y'all know something so divine. Dream is the one that said, let's have our children using a midwife. So he reached out to her. He connected with her. He called her and said, hey, my girlfriend is pregnant. I want us to come in and have a baby with you. He was the one that did that. So again, I told y'all, Dream is brilliant. He's brilliant. He has a beautiful mind, and he just understands things. So he called her, and I remember the first time that I saw her on Instagram, my solar plexus chakra started spinning like crazy. I had never had an experience like that before, to where I just knew. When we went to go meet her, it didn't matter how much she said it was going to cost. It didn't matter anything that she was going to say. I automatically knew that we were going to have our children with her. I already knew it. And even when we had Kimmy, though Kimmy was born in a hospital through C-section, when they were putting me under, I called on Afua. I literally said her name. I said, Afua, I need you in this room. And the reason why I did that is because she had came to me in the dream space about a week or 2 after she passed away. She came to me in the dream space and she said, whatever you need from me, just ask. She said, all you have to do is ask and I'll be there. Literally, she said this in the dream space, right? So Anyways, had 2 children with her, unmedicated, out of hospital birth. One was born, on a bed in a house, like real old school ancient shit, right? And then Kara was born in the car. And it was just so spiritual that her name was already Kara and she was born in the car. But one of the things that you have to do, y'all already know, if you go and research how bad contractions feel, you're going to read shit that says it feels like you broke every bone in your body. That's what you're going to read. Feels like you broke every bone in your body. It is the worst pain known to human. It is the worst pain known to humans. The pain of labor and delivery. I mean, think about it, right? The vagina opens 10 centimeters. This full-blown baby. You're like, how in the world is so miraculous? But the level of pain that has been communicated to us is out of this world, right? So it's something else. But in that moment, in delivering our children unmedicated, I learned that you got to shift your mind from thinking pain to sensations. It's sensation. It's your body's communication. That's a major shift, because when you think pain, you think sickness, you think ailment, you think problem, you think something is wrong, which is why they've shifted pregnancy into being a medical issue, when pregnancy, labor, and delivery is not a medical issue at all. It's life. And it's been done since before anybody was named a doctor. It's been born before hospitals were even invented, right? It's been born. Delivering babies and birth has been here since the beginning of time. It's the most natural, realist thing ever. So it's just a testament to when you shift and you release the baggage of how you've been taught to think, even about your body, you have the ability to heal and bring forth something that is beautiful and bring forth something that is creative, which leads to my next point, and that is love. If you want to release negative energy, if you want to release energetic baggage, you have to tap deeper into love. Erykah Badu told us, bet your love can make it better. Need someone to love you right. I bet you love, I bet you love, I bet. That was a whole download right there. If you want to release baggage, you have to tap into love. And I'm talking about unconditional love, or what the church folks may call it, agape love. Meaning, you keep showing up for yourself. You keep showing up for yourself. Doesn't matter what your reality is presenting to you. You love yourself so much that you stay focused on the desire. You stay focused on what it is that is in your heart. You love yourself so much that you will even push yourself. You will go against the grain. You will allow yourself to be uncomfortable because you love you. That sacred part of you, that divine part of you, that is asking to be birthed, that is asking for you to connect with on a deeper level. See, a lot of times we think love, right? A lot of times we think love is like, oh, I love me. And you think it's just words. No, you got to be about that action. Love is being about that action. So me deciding, okay, I'm going to go live on YouTube and on Instagram every Wednesday and Friday. In my mind, I already know that's not some shit that I want to do, right? Like, I don't want to be, confined to going live on Instagram and YouTube every Wednesday and Friday. But because I love myself and I got goals and I got shit that I got to do, even though my ego, my human doesn't want me to do it, my higher self is telling me you need this discipline, you need this practice, you need this exposure. My higher self says you got to do it. You got to treat your business the same way you was showing up to that damn job every day. You got to treat your business like that. And because I love myself, I'm going to show up. Because I love myself, I'm going to do the hard things. See, we think loving out, so many people think loving yourself means not doing the hard things, not doing the things that you don't want to do. That's an illusion, and that is an attachment to a low vibrational state of being. Because what you are saying is that you don't have to discipline yourself. You just got to keep flowing and going. And yes, best believe, trust me, I am all the way divine feminine. I am all the way divine feminine energy. I am all the way go with the flow. I am all the way chaos for real. Like if you ask Dream, and y'all be getting a hint of it in these videos, because I will turn left real quick. I will turn real feminine real quick. We'll be talking about business or something, and I'll just say, yeah, that butterfly is just absolutely so gorgeous. You know, that's divine feminine energy. Trust me, I will do that. I am all about the flow. But in order for you to manifest with your higher self, see, you as a divine sacred being, you have both masculine and feminine energies. You have both of them, and you need both of them to accomplish what God, your higher self, the divine, the universe, whatever term you resonate with. You need both of those things in order for you to rise up and be who you were designed and destined to be. You absolutely need both, right? And this can go both ways. Some of you women are too masculine and you're not loving yourself enough to release control. You need to control everything. Oh God, no, it got to be done like this. No, if nobody's going to do it, I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to make sure it's right. I have to make sure that I do it, because if you do it, I don't know if it's going to be right. No, you need, it goes both ways. So a lot of the time, self-love requires you to have some self-imposed challenges, right? Miss Boo says it all the time. If nothing else moves you, life will. And I'm telling y'all, family, you don't want to be moved by life, because the moves life gonna make you make it. This is when you're talking about them tower moments. This is when we're talking about the tower moments, because you didn't love yourself enough to push yourself to get outside of your comfortability. Honey, no. I don't know about you, but I'm going to love myself enough. I'm going to love the vision that I have for myself enough that I'm going to release this baggage. I'm going to release these thoughts. I'm going to release these emotions. I'm going to release these actions so that I can rise up. That's what I got to do. I just got to do it. There's no way around it. I got to do it. And I'm so grateful to choose to do it. Let's not say choose. I am so grateful to decide. Meaning, because when we give ourselves too many choices, we say yes today and no tomorrow. But when you make a decision, you got to stand on that. And I'm a Libra. And you know what they be saying about Libras? Libras are undecisive. They don't know what they want to do. They da-da-da-da-da-da. Love will make it better. 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 Your love for self and tapping into that sacred love. Because understand this, your higher self, right? What many of us call God, the God that dwells within, like that's unconditional love. And I swear, I promise y'all, listen, this is a promise. If you would discipline yourself to tune into that energy as often as possible. I say every morning, noon, and night. And I'll tell you how to do it. But if you would discipline yourself to tune into that energy, the baggage, see, when you are connected to your higher self, the shit of your trauma, which has affected your ego, right? Which has created this false sense of protection that we all are seeking and searching for, which has developed that fight or flight mode. When you tune into your sacred self through love and through gratitude, through thankfulness and appreciation, when you tune into that, all of those fears and anxiety cannot coexist with it. It doesn't coexist. How can it coexist? Y'all let me know. How can that coexist? It can't. So when you decide that you are going to focus on love rather than fear, When you decide that you are going to anticipate the good rather than being anxious about what the bad, when you decide to shift, and come back to that centering, your world around you will start reflecting that. See, here's one of the major issues, family. One of the major issues is that you are not consistent enough in tuning into what you desire. You're not consistent enough of tuning into spirit. And that's because of that perpetual state of fight or flight, perpetual state of it. Man, listen, when I was working that job, making $6.25 an hour, I was like, man, it was tough. And I knew that I really needed to love myself enough to transform my thinking. Because it was literally my thoughts and it was depression, really, if we're going to be all the way real. It was those thoughts and like depression that really had me like, actually, I'm speaking of two separate things. Let me backtrack. When I had graduated from college, I went overseas and played volleyball. Then when I came back home, that's when I was like, what is life? Who am I? What am I doing? I was working two jobs. I was working at Lowe's, right? The hardware store, the American hardware store, Lowe's and shit, ringing up PVC pipes and light bulbs and outside lawn and garden. I was doing all of that. And I was also working as a substitute teacher. Let me tell you how crazy this is, how crazy it is, and why you got to love yourself enough to shift your thinking, right? So I had working these two jobs, really like scraping together money to get by, right? Scraping together money to get by. I would go substitute teach from like either I would do a full day from like 7:30 a.m. to like 3:30 p.m. And then I would go to Lowe's and I would work at Lowe's from like 5 to 9, 5 to 10, things like that. Either I would do that or I would work a half day at the school from like 7:30 to 11 o'clock and then go to Lowe's at the end of the day. Like I was in a grind, right? And even though I was doing all of that work, it was never really enough. It was never really enough. How many of y'all ever feel like that? Where you go to this job, you work your ass off, you work overtime, you do all of that shit to try to provide for yourself and all of that, but it never still feels like enough. That was me. I'm looking like, damn, I done worked overtime at this job. I done worked every day of this week as a substitute teacher. I done did all of that and it's still not happening. And then I had this habit, right? Because I was carrying that energy. So I had this habit of whenever I feel stressed and whenever I'm thinking about money, I got to stop by Wingstop. I got to stop by Raising Cane's. I got to stop by one of them places and get something salty. I had to get like some fries or a piece of toast from Raising Cane's. I don't know if y'all have Raising Cane's where y'all are, but I know y'all got Wingstop. I would have to stop and get some fries or something just to give me that comfort and it was a false sense of comfort. That's what I'm telling y'all. We think we're comforting ourselves by shopping, by eating, by sexing, by drinking, by smoking. You thinking you're comforting yourself, but it's a false sense of comfort. It's not going to change you. It's not going to change you. It's not going to change your situation. It's not going to make you feel better. You're going to get high in that moment. It's going to help you to deal with the emotions in that moment, but that's it. That's all it's going to do. And so that was me. I was feeling that anxiety. I would go and I would eat them fries and that would calm me down for the moment. And I remember working at Lowe's and my spirit just telling me, you got to do something different. Like nothing that you're doing right now is actually going to lead to your growth. Like you really need to love yourself. And so for me, and this is what soon led to Dream and I getting together, I had decided, you know what, I'm going to meditate every day. I'm going to just meditate every day. I didn't know much about meditating. I wasn't a guru of the sort. Like I was nowhere near it. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to wake up earlier. I'm going to set this alarm and I'm just going to meditate. I'm just going to push myself to become something different, because that's all of this stuff is, family. All that you are doing is becoming a different person. That's it. All you are doing is becoming a different person. You're transforming your emotions. You're transforming your thoughts. You're transforming your actions. The more you do that, the more you change. The more you change, the more you manifest a different reality, right? Or what we call, you deal with your karma. And karma is not good or bad. Karma just means cause and effect. Because I did this, this is now my new reality. Because I thought this, because I felt this, this is my new reality. So I decided I was going to meditate every single day. Didn't care when, where, why. I was going to meditate every single day. And I had an apartment. I was sharing an apartment with my friend Victoria. And I literally would have to tell her, hey, girl, I'm about to meditate. Don't knock on the door. Don't come in. I have to do this, because I was so uncomfortable with the way that I was living. So meditating, guided meditations at that. And I was just going in. Even though I was judging myself sometimes, I was like, is this shit even working? What is actually happening? Y'all, the shit was really working. I was becoming a different person. And so that was just a major, major act of love, even when I didn't want to do it. Even when my friends was like, girl, we about to go out. Girl, we about to do this. I had to say, I can't go until I meditate, right? After I meditate, I'll meet up with y'all. I'll get with y'all. I'll see where y'all at. But I have to do this, because the way that I'm living right now, the way my mind is working right now, it's not it. Literally, my spirit had downloaded it to me while I was driving in the car. I had the car that I wanted, though. I was driving a white Dodge Challenger. Loved that car. First car I had bought for myself. But I was working so hard to pay for the damn car. I was working so hard to pay for that car. And it was only a $300 note. But I had rent. I had to pay for food and all of the other stuff. And so I remember being in that car driving and just receiving this download, because I was in a, y'all know how we sometimes get into a thought rabbit hole. I was in a damn thought rabbit hole. Thinking about all of these bills that I had to pay, thinking like, damn, like I got so much bills to pay. I can't even enjoy my life, man. Maybe I shouldn't have moved out of my mama's house. Maybe, because my mama wasn't trying to put me out the house. My mom was not like, you have to go. I could have stayed living with my mom until I became a teacher, until I, was making that consistent income. Like, shout out to my mom, because she was not making me leave. I did not have to leave. I wanted to leave because I wanted to be grown. Now that I look back, I was like, man, shit, I could have stayed there, made that money, paid for a light bill or something like that, stacked up, started a whole reality would have been different, but you can't change your life. It is what it is. You can't change what has already happened. I'm not going to change what already happened, because it led me to right here, and I'm grateful for it. But yeah, I was riding in the car, eating on some fries in a rabbit hole, thinking about money. And my spirit was like, this is why you ain't got no money, because this is all you think about. All you think about is not having enough. How much you got to do this? How much you got to do this? That's all you're thinking about. And so when I had received that download, that's when I started meditating, because I was like, okay, I got to change my mind. I got to rewire my mind. And so it was literally an act of love to sit down every day and just be quiet. Just be quiet and control my mind and control my body. See, our bodies is stronger and more sacred than we think, right? You think just because your body says, ooh, I'm hungry, that you automatically need food. You think because your body says, ooh, I'm thirsty, that you automatically got to go and get something to drink. You think because your body is like, oh, it's time to get up and get coffee and go to work. You think because your body sends you that signal that that's what you got to do. And you got to rewire your mind and rewire how you are perceiving life. And so for me, I said, you know what? I'm going to discipline my body, and I'm going to sit here and be quiet. And the more I discipline my body, the more my mind is also going to get on board. And so I had my mind I just sat down 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just sat down. And then before you know it, different opportunities started presenting themselves to me, right? Before you know it, that's when I received the download where my spirit was like, okay, stop substitute teaching, go be a PE aide. Yes, you're going to make less money, but it's going to set you up for what you actually want to do. And so I applied to be that PE aide. I got that job. Actually, I'm collapsing time here as I'm telling y'all this story because, of course, a lot happened throughout that time. But yeah, I got that job as that PE aide, and it was a step stool. It was a step in the right direction and me moving to where I needed to go. But it was all an act of love. I had to love myself enough to decide that I was going to do something different. And I keep on telling y'all, love comes in many forms, right? Somebody over here on YouTube said criticism hurts. But that's also a perception, right? Because criticism doesn't have to hurt. I thought that it did. I thought that criticism automatically meant I wasn't good enough. That's what I thought. I thought criticism meant automatically that I made a mistake. But I had to love myself to say, you know what, I need this criticism, because if I receive this criticism and it aligns and it resonates and I can smoke a bag of that, I need this criticism. If I can get past the ego that is hurt by what is being told to me, if I can love myself in spite of the criticism, because that was the lesson that I had to learn when it came down to criticism and my growth and love. I had to learn that criticism doesn't take anything away from me. That's what I had to learn. I had to learn that someone telling me ways that I can be better, I can keep it or I can leave it. I had to learn that if someone that I feel loves me, right, and have shown to me time and time again that they love me and they're telling me something that I could do to be better, I had to understand that, oh, okay, let me at least be open to hearing. See, when you're caught up in your negative energy, your negative thoughts, and you're caught up on old baggage, you can't even see how something actually applies to you and how something can actually make you better. It's hard to actually see that because you're so wound up, you're so caught up. It's like you're a prisoner to your baggage. You're a prisoner to your trauma. You're a prisoner to your past. And so you have to love yourself enough to even truly open your mind and open your heart and open your spiritual eyesight to see what is in front of you. That's a major thing. All of you, none of you who are here watching this video right now, who will watch it in the future, none of you are without opportunities to grow. There are opportunities for your healing, for your transformation that are always in front of you. The thing is that you keep on seeing these things from the skewed perspective. You keep on seeing these opportunities in front of you. You keep on seeing it from the lens of your baggage. You keep on seeing it from the lens of your trauma, from the lens of that negative perspective. That's how you keep on seeing these opportunities instead of seeing them from the perspective of God, instead of seeing it from the perspective of your higher self. Okay? And so you're missing these opportunities to grow and transform because you think it's just a repetition of your trauma. And it's not that. That is just your attachment, your identification with the things that no longer serves you. And because you're still identified with the trauma, the sadness, the shame, the disappointment, the brokenness, because you're still identified with that, you don't see how this present moment is actually serving your healing, serving your manifestation, serving your growth. That's just the reality. So that's why practicing being in the now is so important. You need to ask yourself, is what is happening right now what actually happened in the past? And the reality is the answer is always no. Ooh, come on, Spirit. The answer is always no. Unless you want to keep recreating the past, right? So if there's something that great happened in your past and something is showing up in your present moment that reminds you of that past experience, great. Have gratitude for it in that moment. But if there's something in your past, a thought, an emotion, an action, a feeling, an experience, if it's something in your past that is showing up in your present moment, You need to give it a new understanding. We got to let go of, oh, here it goes again. Oh, I keep on having this thought. I keep on having these feelings. I keep on doing the same thing. No, you need to do the alchemy. You need to do the alchemy. You need to ask yourself, well, how do I want this to serve me now? That's the power that you have as a creator, right? It says, the Bible says, right? Let me get to y'all. What the Bible says, you were made in the image and the likeness of God. And the very first thing that we learn about God when you open up that Bible is that God was a creator or is a creator. That's the very first thing that you learn about God. And if you then learn that you were made in the image of God, well, doesn't that make you a creator as well? Absolutely. You are a creator as well. And you are creating based off of how you choose to perceive your life situations. You can choose to see it as if it serves you, or you can choose to see it from the perspective of that old baggage. But I'm telling you right now to choose the former. Choose to see it as it is serving you, because it is. But it's your choice. As a creator, it is your choice. You get to choose. It's all on you, baby. All right? So loving you comes in many forms. Sometimes that love is tough. Sometimes that love means having compassion and empathy for yourself. That's a whole nother thing. If you want to release negative energy, old baggage that no longer serves you, compassion is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to yourself. And really understanding that who you are right now is a result of your past experiences. And so I'm going to have compassion for myself, and I'm going to choose that I no longer have to live as her. Matter of fact, I don't even know who the old me is. I don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. And because I don't really know who she is, I have compassion for her, right? It always seems, ain't this so crazy, family, that we can have the most compassion and the most empathy for people that we don't know. But when it comes down to us, what empathy, what understanding, what? You don't have it. You don't have it. So you must learn to detach from your old self in your old ways and the parts of you that you don't like and that you no longer want to be manifesting. Detach from that and have compassion for yourself when she shows up. Let me answer some questions real quick because we got some good questions coming over here. Over here on Instagram, we got the question, what about women who may not have enough masculine energy? I feel like at times I may be too focused on relaxing instead of reaching my goals. Girl, I know all about it. And the reason why that manifests is because you didn't have, right? I know I didn't. My father was very laid back and relaxed. My father is not he's a man, but as far as like discipline and like this militant type energy, yeah, that's not my father. My father's more laid back, all about the fun. So if you don't have enough masculine energy, which stops you from being disciplined, one of the greatest gifts that you can give to yourself is desire. Desire, get you some of me, right? Desire, right? You have to want your change, your transformation, your manifestation more than you want to stay the same. And so one of the gifts is you need to tap into the desire of your heart, meaning you have to tap into what your higher self is calling you to do. If you don't show up for your purpose, if you don't show up for your reason for being here, something's wrong. It's just that simple. I'm not showing up on YouTube and Instagram twice a week and email and all of that shit. I'm not doing all of that because I enjoy it. Like it's fun, right? It's fun. But sometimes I would rather keep my mouth closed and just be quiet and watch TV and relax and kick my feet up and go get my feet rubbed. That's what I would rather do sometimes. But I'm choosing to show up here because I have a purpose, I have a mission, I have a reason for being here. And it is my responsibility, just like it is yours, to fulfill that mission and to accomplish that goal. That's why I'm showing up here. That's why I'm showing up here, is because my higher self has placed a desire on my heart. And that desire is to connect with more spiritual women, to support more women in their healing, in their transformation, renewing their spirit, rediscovering their purpose, reinvigorating their relationships. That is my desire, to do that, to have these conversations, to see a woman go from one state of being to another state of being. That is what I desire, to see a woman go from feeling shame, feeling guilt, lack of them, to see her transform and become who she's meant to be. That is what I desire to do, because that is what my spirit, my higher self, has placed on me to do in this season of my life, right? In this lifetime, that's what I've been here to do. And so that desire is what keeps me going, even when I don't feel like it, when I don't have that masculine energy, when I don't have that discipline. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that my spirit, my higher self, God, is actually calling me to do? What is actually in my heart for me to do? Because if you're not showing up for God, then I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know the words to say about that. Because there should be a level of conviction. And so what that means is that you got to find your purpose. If you're not disciplined and you're not showing up consistently, you got to find your purpose. You got to find your reason for being here. You got to know your why. Check out Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. Do you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe? And if you do, that's going to cause you to move. You got to ask yourself, do I want my growth more than I want to be kicking back, relaxing? Do I want my healing more than I want to be kicking back, relaxing? Do I want my abundance and manifestation? Do I want healthier relationships with my kids, with my husband, with my friends? Do I want that more than I want to sit back and watch TV? You got to really ask yourself that question. A lot of times, family, when we are not taking action, it's because we are fearful. A lot of the times when we're not taking action, we are in a state of fear. And y'all think fear is like anxiety and like, oh my God, no, I'm so scared. No. Fear can be procrastination. Fear is indecision. That was me. I just couldn't make a decision. I don't know what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And I would rack my mind up with how I'm actually going to do something instead of just going and doing it. See, that's where you got to lean more into your feminine energy, right? Some of y'all think that you're in your feminine bag, but you're really not even in that either. Because the feminine bag also is where your intuition lies. And if you don't know what you have been called to do moment by moment, then you're not tuned into your feminine energy. Your feminine energy is going to tell you this is what you need to do. Your feminine energy is where your download comes. Your download, your insight, you being able to see into spirit, you being able to see what is being asked of you spiritually, is you being tuned into feminine energy, healthy feminine energy. See, a lot of you are in that unhealthy feminine energy to where it's just like, oh, I don't have to do anything. And that's just not the reality. It's a lack of balance. There is a such thing as healthy feminine and unhealthy feminine. Okay. So I love that question. That's a powerful question. Matter of fact, if you have a question, feel free to drop them. I am going to answer a few questions before I get off of here. And listen, I want y'all to know this. Men and women, you absolutely must relax. On a daily basis, you need to relax. On a daily basis, you need to be tuning in. And the reason why you got to relax is because when you do relax, this is when the downloads get to come through. This is when the aha moments are revealed to you. So relaxation is key for both men and women. Hell, I'll be having to tell Dream to relax, but it seemed like every time he relaxed, he going to sleep. I'm like, can you relax and stay up? Can you relax and stay up? Like, can you relax and we chill? I love it. I'm glad you stayed around, sis. I'm glad you stayed around. Stephanie McGee says, can it affect the lower back as well? I don't know what you're talking about, sis. So give me some more context when you're saying, can it affect the lower back? Because I don't know what you're talking about. Your spiritual energy can affect anything. Your spiritual energy, your aura, the unresolved trauma that you have can affect every part of your body. Every part of your body. Divine Zoe says, how do you know what your purpose is And why do bad things happen to us? Ooh, those are very good, deep questions. Well, one, I have a video on YouTube that I did maybe a year ago where I'm talking about how to determine what your purpose is. I want you to go find that video and listen to it. Anybody who has a question about your purpose, I want you to find that video and listen to it. Here's what I'm realizing is that your purpose changes given the season that you are in life. When I was pregnant with my kids, with Kara and KJ, Dream was so heavy into his business, y'all. He was getting it. I'm talking about at that time he was shipping off statues, the Lakshmis, the Assets, the Osiris. He was heavy in that bag. And I was very proud of him, but I felt like I was almost disappointed in myself because I didn't know what my purpose was. I was like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Shout out to my midwife, Afua. We were sitting down with her, sitting on the bed, talking about how we were feeling. I told her how I was feeling. And she was like, baby, your purpose right now is to carry this child. Your purpose is right now is to make sure that your mind and your emotions are right and that you give this baby all of the love, all of the energy, all the attention that it is needing from you. Your purpose right now is creating a home and a safe space for this baby. So when the baby is born, your baby is coming into a place of peace. That's your purpose right now. And when she said that to me, that really sent off a major light bulb in my head because I was able to take off the pressure from myself of owning a business and getting sales. And I was able to remove that pressure and focus on being pregnant and focus on this state of motherhood that I was in. So your purpose changes given the season that you are in. So you need to be paying attention to what your spirit is asking of you in the moment. The way that you know what your spirit is asking of you is by one, paying attention to the things that seem to be happening that are out of your control, right? Like things just popping up that are needing your attention right now. That's probably because your spirit is like, okay, I want you to focus on this. I need you to tune into this. I need you to turn to this. Your mind may be saying, oh, I want to start a business or I want to make more money or whatever. And your spirit may be saying, but I want you to focus on eating healthier. I want you to focus on loving on these kids. I want you to focus on loving on yourself. I want you to focus on your mind. So your purpose in that moment may be, I need to focus on how do I create a healthier home? How do I create a healthier body? How do I do those things? So to me, your purpose changes. But here's what I want you to understand also is that a lot of times your pain is directly connected to your purpose. So how do you determine what your purpose is? I want you to reflect on the things that you've overcome. What have you overcome and how? What are the challenges that you've had to face and overcome? So for me, I had to overcome abandonment. I had to overcome rejection. I had to overcome womb ailments. I had to overcome these things. I had to overcome unhealthy relationships. These are all things that I've overcome. And it directly connected me to my purpose. Oh, I'm supposed to help women overcome their mind, overcome their emotions, overcome shame and guilt. I had to realize, oh, I had this womb ailment and I was able to heal it naturally on my own. So my purpose is going to be to teach women how to do that, right? Oh, I had to overcome having abandonment issues that manifested in me having toxic relationships. And I did that healing work and I was able to manifest a healthy partner. So all of the things that you've overcome become a part of your purpose because you can give that back. You can gift that knowledge. You can gift that wisdom. You can gift that understanding to other people. So that is what I truly feel. Peace, Kaylin. Hey, sis. Right? So does that make sense? Let me know, Divine Zoe, and anybody who just heard that response, let me know in the chat if that makes sense to y'all, because that's what I've understood. So I truly feel that your trauma leads to your triumph, but it's all a matter of perspective, and it's all a matter of being able to release the energetic baggage that you've attached to when it comes down to those past experiences. Your purpose is directly connected to the things that are powerful, that you are passionate about, that are universal, meaning what I'm doing right now, if I spoke Chinese, I can go give this same video to some Chinese women and some Chinese men, and they're going to be like, damn, I resonate with that. That's because it's universal. I can be in Thailand, I can be in Africa and deliver this same message and they're going to get it. That's because it's universal, it's purposeful, right? You got to look at your redemption. What have you been redeemed from? Boom, right? What is sentient? This is so powerful. I want you to go look at that video because I break all of this down. But when I look at my purpose, I look at what is sentient, meaning spiritual, energetic. What can I just do? Like y'all, let me show y'all what I wrote down, right? This is the only thing that I wrote down for this video. The only thing that I wrote down for this video was these points. That's it. Everything else is divine spiritual channels. I wrote down 5 things in this journal for this video. Everything else is a divine flow that is streaming from my divine mind. So it's purpose, right? Because it's sentient, it's spiritual, it's energetic. I can't make it up using my egoic mind, right? It just is flowing through me. So you want to pay attention to that. All of us have these things. All of us have these things. The problem is a lot of times you're comparing your thing to my thing, or your thing to her thing, or his thing, or whatever. And you need to be focusing on what makes you divinely, uniquely you. Right? So we definitely have to understand that. Divine Soul says, yeah, it does. But like some people I see go through a lot of trauma, and it seems like they still live an unsatisfactory life. Well, first of all, I want you to focus on you and not what you see from other people. And here's the reality. What you see of other people is what you're seeing of yourself. What you are seeing in other people is what you're seeing of yourself. So you have to change what you're seeing. Stop seeing people who are living an unsatisfactory life and start seeing people who are living a satisfactory life. Right? That's the power. I want to give y'all some songs, because during this time of me releasing this energy, I've been listening to these songs that is freaking touching my soul. First song that I want y'all to listen to is called Better Than I Imagined by Robert Glasper, her, and Michelle. I can't think of Michelle's last name, but have y'all heard that before? It's called Better Than I Imagined. But it was better than I imagined. Thought I can't see myself with no one else, cause it was better than I imagined. Yeah. If y'all never heard of it, right? Like, I'm messing up the words, but what I do know is that there's a spiritual code in it. There's a spiritual code in the song Better Than I Imagined. Robert Glasper, her, and Michelle. Michelle is the one that's singing, you made a fool of me. Tell me why. Right? That Michelle from Love and Basketball, who sang that song, right? So I want y'all to go listen to that song, Better Than I Imagined. And there's a spiritual code in it that is going to help you with releasing this negative energy and releasing this trauma and releasing this baggage. Better Than I Imagined. Robert Glasper, her, and Michelle. Right. There you go. Thank you, Cosmic Chlorophyll. You always come through. You always come through. That's absolutely her name. That's absolutely her name. So go and listen to that song, because things are better than you imagine. Things are better than you imagine. So I need you to start imagining better. I need you to start seeing better. I need you to start expecting better and intending for better in your life. That is how you start to release some of this shit. The reason why you're not releasing some of this stuff is because you're not expecting better. You're not imagining better. So go and listen to that song. The other song that I want y'all to listen to is called Calls. It's called Calls by Robert Glasper again. Robert Glasper is a pianist. He's a pianist and a writer. And this song is called Calls. And I've been listening to this song. I've been listening to these 3 songs every day since that full moon. And my spirit has just been lifted and lifted and lifted and lifted. And I'm transforming. For those of you who are in the Patreon, I'm going to drop the link to these songs in the music group on the Geneva app. I'm going to drop the link to these songs so y'all can just click it and listen to it. But y'all need to go listen to the song Calls by Robert Glasper and Jill Scott. And that song, they just say, you always answer my calls. When I call, you come. You always answer my call. When I call, you come. That's what the whole damn song says. You always answer my calls. When I call, you come. Go listen to Calls, Robert Glasper, Jill Scott. Because the song is a download from your higher self. The song is a download from God, the universe, that is saying, you always answer my call. When I call, you come. And it's basically a reminder from your higher self letting you know whatever it is that you want to release, whatever it is you want to let go of, call. You are divinely connected to a higher power that is you. But instead of you making that call, instead of you tapping in, instead of you asking, see, you got to learn to ask for support. During this time, I've been calling on my spirit team. I've been calling on my archangels. I've been calling on my ancestors. I'm like, help me to let this go. Help me to move on. And when I call, not only am I calling using the power of my words and my intention, not only am I calling using that, but I also start to visualize them filling the room. I actually start to visualize them surrounding me, and I'm in a circle and they're with me and they're guiding me and talking to me and working on me and opening up my heart and healing me. And so you always answer my call. When I call, you come. You. I mean, come on. Tap in. The music is healing. But instead, y'all listening to, I don't know what y'all listening to because I don't listen to that music, but you're listening to something, right? So Calls, Robert Glasper, Jill Scott, listen to that song. It is a reminder. It is just a reminder to you that your higher self, God, is always listening and is always ready and available to you. And whenever you need that support, whenever you need that download, you can get it. Jill Scott, Robert Glasper, Call. The last song that I want y'all to listen to is PJ Morton, who is another pianist, musician. It's PJ Morton and Yeba, Caucasian lady, but she got soul. PJ Morton and Yeba, and the song is How Deep Is Your Love? How deep is your love? How deep? Why is Dream Wise calling me? He knows what's going on. He must have called by accident. So How Deep Is Your Love by Yeba and PJ Morton. How Deep Is Your Love by Yeba and PJ Morton. How deep is your love? I need to know how deep is. I can't even. I got the tempo, the melody off. But How Deep Is Your Love? How Deep Is Your Love? PJ Morton and Yeba. Those three songs has the ability to support you in this release work. Okay, those three songs has the ability to support you in this release work. Okay, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I want y'all to get to it. Get on that work. Let me know in the comments, like when this video is done, let me know, how this information resonates with y'all. And then ladies, I have a new workshop that we're going to do next Saturday, September 24th, a new workshop where we're going to talk about how to turn your masculine energy into feminine power. That's the new workshop that is taking place. Let me drop the link in here so y'all can sign up. It's a whole new workshop. I'm super excited about it. .com/womb alchemy. Whole new workshop, right? I know y'all was like, okay, we probably don't want to hear about the relationships no more. Fine. You don't got to hear about that. Link ain't work well. You don't got to hear about you don't have to hear about relationships no more. I'm going to be dropping on your personal masculine energy and how to turn your masculine energy into feminine power. That's the workshop that we are going to be doing on September 24th. So you got 10 days. Ladies, sign up for that. If you are on Instagram, you can hit the link in my bio. Go to my link tree. Go to my link tree and you'll be able to see, it'll say something like my website, and you'll be able to look at it there. All right. So that's going to happen September 24th. Don't worry about it. I'll remind you. That it's coming. And I love y'all. I'll see y'all on Friday. Meet me back here Friday. If you gained some value from this, if it was right on time for you, all you got to do is come back Friday. I'll see y'all Friday. All right. Peace, family. You always